Medicated cycles almost destroyed my marriage. I'm a 42-year-old IVF mom after 5 pregnancies, and no one warned me how treatment could turn my husband into my enemy. Today, I am sharing exactly how medicated cycles nearly broke us and what we did to crawl back from the emotional hellhole so you can protect your relationship while fighting for your baby. So, grab your coffee, tea, or water, and let's get started. I did 3 cycles of letrozole with ultrasound monitoring and timed intercourse. Before we started, my husband got a semen analysis, which passed with flying colors, thank God. They checked my AMH levels, which came back at 7.5. Very high for a 36-year-old woman, but on brand with someone dealing with PCOS. We also did genetic testing just to see if there was anything else we needed to be aware of, which, by the way, side note, gave us the answer to a medical issue my husband had a few years prior to that. So on cycle day 1, I called the clinic and they sent in the prescription to my pharmacy. Around cycle day 4, I went in for a baseline ultrasound. My first cycle on letrozole was actually at 2.5. They advised me to start using LH strips at around cycle day 10 and to call them when the test line was almost as dark as the control line. My symptoms, or side effects rather, started almost immediately. I was getting migraines, overnight sweats, but the mood swings were horrendous. So in the midst of that, my husband was supposed to be, turned on enough to want to have intercourse with me. Keep that in mind. On paper, we were trying to build a family, right? In reality, it felt like my body was a science project and my marriage was collateral damage. First, medicated cycles turned us into basically roommates with a spreadsheet to track what we were doing. That's when the baby dancing, as they called it on the TTC boards, obsession started. I remember nagging him about intimacy and intercourse, but it felt like he was always working. He never wanted to be home when we needed to get to it. He would be coming home after 9 o'clock. And then between having to have dinner and shower, he wasn't coming to bed until around midnight. And by then, I'm exhausted, I'm angry, I gotta go to work the following day. It was a mess. By the way, if you're feeling like you're carrying 90% of the mental load and quietly resenting him, you're not a bad partner. You're a woman in survival mode. If that sounds like you, hit subscribe right now. You do not have to figure this out alone. In hindsight though, one simple thing I wish I had said earlier was, I need you to come home no later than 7:30 p.m. while we're going through this cycle without me nagging you. Second, sex stopped being intimacy and became a performance review. As we got closer to those test strips being equally dark to the control line, timed intercourse or baby dance became this truckload of pressure. It was no longer, ooh, let's have sex tonight. No, it was, we have to have sex tonight. Come on, let's go, get in bed. The night before I ovulated, I remember crying in bed because he told me he was having stomach issues. So sex was out the window that night. I just turned around, effectively shutting down and silently crying. After that first cycle, I started dreading my own husband coming in through those doors. Not because of him, but because of what the calendar demanded. What I told myself I needed to happen in order for us to have this baby. If you've lost your libido or you're avoiding touch, it's not because you don't love each other. This is just what happens when medicine hijacks your bedroom. Third, we were grieving on totally different timelines. After that first negative pregnancy test, I was devastated, but he sounded just fine. I remember thinking, does this even hurt him? Does he even fucking care? Am I the only one in this trying to make it work? What I didn't realize is that he was grieving, just quietly. But in the moment, to me, it felt like abandonment. Like he just didn't give a shit. If you feel like you're carrying all the sadness while he moves on, it doesn't always mean he doesn't care. It might just mean he doesn't know how to show it. During our last medicated cycle, we were supposed to have sex one particular night. So, of course, he went out with his friends and didn't come back until midnight. I started screaming at him almost immediately after he came in the bedroom. I told him, why the fuck am I putting my body through all of this if you're not even showing up to do your one job? He just looked at me. He turned around and went right into the bathroom. I remember laying in bed, feeling defeated, thinking to myself, are we gonna make it? After that third cycle, we ended up going to see the RE again. Basically talk about how the 3 cycles went, what happened, what went wrong. After that appointment, we had a brutally honest conversation about our true desire of becoming parents. He wanted to be a parent with me, but during those medicated cycles, I had become a different person. I was mean when I didn't get my way. I wasn't an easy person to get along with. Let's just put it that way. My obsession to do everything right to have a baby was a turnoff. Today, I can take accountability because I know that, yes, the extra meds were messing with my hormones, but I became a raging bitch, and that was my choice. I felt like I needed to control everything, or else it wouldn't happen. During that conversation, we realized that we concentrated so hard on getting pregnant that sex became a second job, one we no longer enjoyed, to be quite frank. So we agreed on a fertility pause where we stepped out of the trying to conceive rat wheel and brought romance and going on dates back into our lives. During that time, I also started acupuncture. I started meditating. I was journaling again, and we were going on dates and enjoying each other's company without the pressure of running back home to have sex to try to have a baby. Now, heart stopping my obsessive thoughts was one of the hardest things I had to do. But my mental health and my marriage depended on it. Medicated cycles didn't magically fix our marriage. It actually exposed the cracks we finally needed to face. If your relationship feels like it's breaking under all the pressure of fertility treatments and trying to conceive, you're not crazy, you are not failing, and you definitely are not alone. If you've been nodding your head through this, do 2 things for yourself. First, hit subscribe right now. I'm here every week talking about IVF over 35, loss, marriage, the messy middle, and the gaslighting the doctors never prepare us for, so you don't have to walk this road in the dark. Second, go watch the next video. I'm linking it on the screen over here and in the description. It's about the hidden cost of IVF loss that nobody talks about and how I made it to the other side. I'll see you over there. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah. Bye.